When the World Wide Web, as it was first known, became available to consumers in the early 90s, it was characterized by a defiant relationship to the law and to the governmental systems that passed and enforced that law. Take, for example, this quote from a Declaration of the Independence of Cyberspace in 1996 by John Parry Barlow, a lyrics writer for the Grateful Dead who became a libertarian and digital rights activist. He said, "Governments of the industrial world, you weary giants of flesh and steel, I come from cyberspace, the new home of mind. On behalf of the future, I ask you of the past to leave us alone. You are not welcome among us. You have no sovereignty where we gather." So there was a sense that it was, or should be, an escape from the everyday reality of life under a sovereign government, where one could be, do and say anything one wanted. The last 20 or so years have seen the internet lose a lot of this innocence and utopianism as it became more and more mainstream, and consequently, more of a realm into which governance and regulation had to venture. Most of us agree that while technology is seldom the beginning of the story and isn't in that sense a determinant of our behaviour, it can and does enable us to do things that were hitherto not possible. The internet is one of the most prominent examples of this facilitation that comes from technology, because it enables us to express our own views in the public sphere more easily than ever and communicate with many people across huge distances in ways that we've never been able to before. In a space of time that historically represents the blink of an eye, these options are suddenly available to us, and not only are they available, but they're mainstream and widespread. There is, of course, a debate about the benefits and drawbacks of a situation where huge numbers of people are able to say whatever they like to huge numbers of other people, and there are both proponents and critics. But we'll have to leave that debate for another day. But there are considerations to be made here around what happens to that communication and to that public sphere when such large numbers of people are holding technology in their hands that has such potent communicative potential. What are the practical and legal consequences for both the speaker and the listener, the writer and the reader, when so many people can produce and even more can consume? Because the law was largely developed in a world without the internet, sometimes we end up engaging the law without realizing we've transgressed at all. Copyright is one area where this has been a major challenge, but so have other areas of the law related to communication, culture and the public sphere, such as the tort of defamation. And it's taken a while for legal reasoning to catch up with the questions that are posed by what we can do online and modify itself so as to reflect better the ins and outs of its reasoning and do its job.